Hopefully this is recording. This was just a brief film. I just thought kitchen knife rack. What's on your kitchen knife rack? Just thought I'd show this briefly. This is the kitchen knife rack as it is in the house, and some of these knives I've made, and some are just regular knives that have been bought from a shop and not necessarily my choice. The first knife here, starting with the one on the left here, this is a Sheffield stainless steel blade, a little sort of paring knife, and this particular one, the handle is a sort of sandwich of wood and old pieces of Bakelite. I buy a lot of old scraps of wood and materials, and then use them in things that I make. And with this particular one, I think it has a kind of slightly Art Deco feel to it. I mean, they're all used. I mean, these are all used items, and I did the handle, which I always think looks like a humbug, if you like, because of the colours, which has got sort of brass pins. This second knife here, this particular one, and this knife here are exactly the same if you look at the handles, but this one I just ground the blade down to a different size. When I was first starting to get into knives and making knives and things like that, I bought lots of old broken knives and just practiced grinding and shaping them and sharpening them, reprofiling them. I would take the handles off, redo them, etc. Anybody who's into bushcrafting will know what that is. It's a little Mora. Another stainless steel blade. I prefer carbon steel myself because I think it holds a better edge, but for kitchen knives probably stainless steel is a better thing. But this one is a regular one that we use in the kitchen, and is used for chopping everything from onions and tomatoes, etc. A cheap supermarket bought bread knife there, nothing special. Another kind of cheap cook's knife. This one here is a stainless steel, a Sheffield steel blade. This was actually something a bit more like that shape, and I reground it to make a sort of a Santoku design. So this one, if you look at the handle, I think they might be lemonwood liners on there, and I've used mahogany for the handle, but a really nice shape, this one, and I sort of curved the blade so it's really good for chopping. You get that slight rocking motion on the end there, which is great if you're chopping tomatoes or vegetables on a board. Another cheap knife there. This was a great big carving knife. This is an old Sheffield steel carving knife. That blade was probably a good 4 inches longer than that, and the handle was another 2 or 3 inches longer. You can see it's sort of deer antler, and all I did on that was regrind it. The balance is much better now, it fits the hand better, and it's a much more useful size. But this was the blade was extremely damaged, and I just bought this from a scrap place, and decided to reprofile it and reshape it into something that was useful. This is a easy cut stainless steel bread knife, again a Sheffield knife, very old. All I did was resharpen it, and it's a very thin blade, but perfect for chopping bread. Another knife that my wife bought, a big old cook's knife. I'm not really a fan of this one or this one. This is like a cheap sort of supermarket kind of version of a Santoku, but the weight on this one is all wrong. It's absolutely hideous. This knife feels horrible. My favourite knife, my go-to knife, is this one, which again is a Sheffield made sort of butcher style blade. I made the handle, which I think has got rosewood liners on here, and the actual scales are oak. Very well used. We've had these for years. Needs sharpening, but beautiful knife, and I find this to be the most useful size, and probably the knife that I use most of all, and probably my most favourite kitchen knife. I mean, if I was to make a leather sheath or whatever, I would have that as a kind of you know, a knife that I would carry out and about for probably bushcrafting, or you know, around a campfire, or butchering meat, or whatever it is, because everything about that knife is just spot on for me. So I just thought I'd show the knife rack in the kitchen, just for those that, you know, I thought might be interested. So there we go.